Hi, today we're talking about, is your business positioned for growth? We'll talk specifically about the gross margin and how you can find your gross margin using QuickBooks. So why do I need to know my gross margin? My gross margin tells me if my margins are big enough to cover my other expenses. Let's look at an example. Let's say I buy product for $5. So buy for 5. I sell it for 10. So what is my gross margin? We say 10 minus 5, which is $5, right? But what if I had other operating expenses? Like maybe I was paying rent and then my rent was $6. Well, I am going to make a net profit of minus $1. Well, that's not good for me being the business owner. So that tells me my gross margin is not big enough. I need to make it larger. Once you figure out all your expenses, you can figure out how big your gross margin has to be because it's that, and then you can do quick calculations as you buy and sell buy products to determine if the margins you're making on that product is big enough to keep you profitable. So now we know why gross margin is important. What is it? Your gross margin is your revenue less your cost of goods sold. So here we see revenue minus our cost of goods sold equals our gross margin. So here in this example, we see we have revenue of $40,000, which is what we sold the product for. So that's what our customers gave us. But however, it cost us $10,000 to buy the product. So to get our gross margin, we say 40,000 minus 10,000 equals 30,000. So that's our gross margin. But what is this in percentage form? Because to do the quick calculations going forward to compare with other businesses, you really need to know what the percentage is if you're going to compare apples to apples. Because if you're not comparing percentages and you're just comparing actual numbers, then you're really not comparing like terms or apples to apples, as I say. So your revenue is always at 100%. Your cost of goods sold is the 10,000 divided by 40,000. So that will give us 25%. So that means we're spending 25% to buy the product, and we sell them at a 75% margin. So which is our profit of 30, gross margin of 30,000 divided by 40,000 give us that 75%. Now that looks like a huge margin, but however, we don't know what our operating expenses is, so we don't really know what the bottom line is going to be. But one thing you need to know is that your gross margin has to be big enough to cover your other expenses. Now let's go into QuickBooks and see how we can find our gross margin and our gross margin percent. To do that, you open up your QuickBooks file, you go into Reports, you select the profit and loss, you select the period you want your profit and loss to be. So here we have 1/1/2017 to 10/21/2017. And then when we want to see the percentages, we click down here where it says compare another period, and we go down and we say percent of income. We click Run Report. We can collapse so we can see better. So here we can see our gross profit has been computed for us. We have a gross profit of $9,795, and we have the gross profit percent is 96%. So that says after we take out the cost of buying the products, we're keeping 96% of our profits. Now, is that a lot? Is that a little? Well, we don't know. It depends on the industry and how much other expenses you have.